Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the show. I am Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3 Racing Network, and tonight we have a good one here. It is the Riptide 250 at the World Center of Racing. It is Daytona International Speedway. These drivers getting ready to do 100 laps here tonight. Some big storylines we have to come into tonight. New season for these 802 Winston Cup Series drivers, so everyone on a clean slate, everyone looking to the future for that 15-person playoffs that will kick off in about 20 weeks or so. If you're in that top 15, you are making it and you have a shot at the championship, because then you got to survive just 3 rounds in the playoffs, whereas the final 5 will go at a champion. Who will that be? We will have to wait quite a bit, but it's going to be an exciting journey nonetheless. Can Jeff Pogo go back-to-back in championships? And the guy that's been on fire here at Daytona, Kenny Reel in the 11 car. Can Kenny sweep Daytona with the Speed Weeks? He won qualifying. He won his dual race. Can he get the job done on the big stage? We'll find out in about 100 laps or so as warm-up wraps on up here and we get ready to head down trackside to go through tonight's starting lineup for the Riptide 250. Alrighty, here we go. We get ready to go through tonight's starting lineup for the Riptide 250 here at Daytona. Starting on the pole here tonight, I gave you guys a little bit of a spoiler with picking up the quick time in qualifying, as well as putting on a show there in the duel, picking up that win. The 11 car of Kenny Reel will lead the field to the green flag. To his outside will be the driver of the number 8. It is Kip Easley rolling off P number 2 here tonight. Steve Ritter in the 61 machine will roll off third. And to his outside, the defending season champion, it is the 97 of Jeff Pogo. Kevin Roy in the 77 will start P number 5. And it is Dustin Coggin in the 44 rolling off 6. Starting in P number 7 will be the 38. That is Matthew Johnson. And then in 8th is the 6 car of Johnny Barker. Joe Hudson in the 23 will start 9th here tonight. And John Buell in the 47 machine will round out the top 10. Greg Dreiss in the 64 machine will start 11th. And Daniel Holdcroft in the 88 will start 12th. Rolling off 13th here tonight is Michael Pardusky in the 36 machine. Frank Zingen in the 62 will start in 14th. Cody Meadows in the 19 machine will roll off P number 15. And Tanner Wright in the 69 will start 16th. In 17th position will be the 1 car of Brandon Guerin. 18th going to Cody Brewer in the 12. Eli Raposa in the 46 will start 19th. And rounding out the top 20 is Jason Wiley in the 13. Brandon Finley in the 48 will start 21st. 22nd, Rob Lowell in the 21. Jim Ott rolling off 23rd. And Ariba Caton in the 30 machine starting in 24th. And then starting shotgun on the field here tonight is Andres Varas in the 84 machine. So that will do it for the starting lineup. It looks like 2 cars not making the call right away at least. And it looks like the 2 of Nick Larson as well as the 47 machine of John Buell. So both of those guys will start from pit road. I believe Larson starting there did not make the call there in the duels at Daytona, so that was the penalty if you miss the duels, you have to start at the back, and that looks like, I should say, at pit road as well as the back. Looks like that might be the case for the 2 machine, but here we go. Fans are up on their feet, and we get ready to turn them loose for 100 laps here at Daytona. The iRacing pace car heads down pit road, and here we go. Kenny Reel on the loud pedal here, and we go green flag racing here at Daytona and kick off the Winston Cup Series. The inside lane here maybe not quite as formed up as the top side. Looks like Kip Easley here will lead down the backstretch for the first time here tonight. Easley and Pogo both getting down to that bottom side. Steve Ritter here pulling shoots. He will head to the back, so the 61 down low. Looks like maybe the 36 as well of Pardusky. So 2 cars there already going to the back saying, hey, let's head back to the back. Definitely a strategy here at Daytona to say, hey, we got to stay out of trouble. We don't want to be a part of the big one when it comes on out. So let's go to the back, ride on around his 01 car, big time squirrely. That is Kenny Reel. Real quickly jumping up to the outside lane here. Led the field to the green flag down low, but didn't quite maybe get the help out the backside. So we'll jump up in front of the 11 machine and try a shot at leading the top lane here. As the top lane currently at the moment, only 4 cars up to the front. Oh, and then the 62 jumping out of line. So Frank Zingen now will lead that outside lane here. Out in front though, Kip Easley leading the way here in the number 8 machine. And it looks like a pretty even race here at the moment. Zingen getting a great push there from the 11 to Reel. It looks like that will push the 62 out in front. Yes, it does. So Zingen here will take over the point. We'll see if he slides on down to that inside lane. Looks like he won't. So it will be a heads-up drag race here down the back straightaway. As it looks like here, way further on back, Steve Ritter pulling the chutes has lost the pack draft. So Steve Ritter, if this race goes green for a while, he could be in trouble to go a lap down very quickly without the draft and the pack. So Frank Zingen has jumped down to that bottom side here in the 62. So Frank will lead the way here. Will lead that lap at the completion of lap 3. So side by side here, once again up at front. The high side, even though they don't quite have the numbers of the inside lane, it looks like they are carrying a bit more momentum. You got to wonder, how much are these drivers fuel saving here tonight? It sounds like the pit window right around 25 laps. So we could split this race into pretty even 4 sections. But, you know, if you can stretch it out, have to save 1 pit stop here tonight, that could be a huge advantage when it's all said and done. So Kenny Reel jumped down to that bottom side. Now Dustin Coggin will do the same. So Coggin will now lead the inside lane. Now new outside leader, the 6 of Johnny Barker. Barker started in P number 8, so I think has kind of stayed up to that second lane, has ridden on up towards the front here, as it looks like Barker is going to get hung out to dry here, as maybe not, I was going to say the 21 of Rob Lowell, his teammate, so looks like the 21 will check up, let him back in, but with that outside lane will die a bunch and lose a lot of momentum there. So now Barker goes from, you know, about 3rd position to outside the top 10 with that little bit of miscommunication, as we see more and more drivers jumping back down to that inside lane. The 19 of Cody Meadows, same with the 84 of Andres Varas. So now we start the ride around of Daytona. Besides a caution, the next thing that can really shake up the running order here tonight will be green flag pit stops, depending on how well a driver gets onto pit road as well as off of pit road. Could be the difference of coming out with some cars or missing out at some draft and then being stuck by yourself. And of course, with pit road here tonight especially, you cannot afford any sort of penalty on pit road. A 40-second hold would pretty much put you one lap down, as drivers in this pack doing about 46 seconds lap time. So what you cannot afford whatsoever here tonight is a penalty on pit road, whether too fast on the pit road or too fast off of it. So Dustin Coggin here in the 44 machine has led the last 2 laps, going to make it the last 3 here at the stripe. So the 44 kind of riding on around, and I want to double check. Yes, it is all Penny Stacker teammates up in front, the top 3 being part of that group. And I don't quite see what team the 8 car of Kip Easley is a part of. Oh, sorry, here we go. He's part of Next Shift Racing, so he doesn't have quite any teammates around him, as Kip Easley's teammates are Kevin Roy and Dan Holdcroft. Those guys running a little bit further back, but making their way up towards their teammate here, as Roy's running in 6th there in the 77 machine, and then Holcroft there in the 88 as well. So they're at least close to Kip, but not quite working together here at the moment. They have the 97 of Jeff Pogo, at least separating 2 of them. But out in front, Penny Stacker Motorsports here leading the way. First 3 cars part of that stable. And it looks like everyone now down on the inside lane here, kind of riding on around. Steve Ritter continues to lose time on the pack. Ritter last time by a 50.5, whereas the pack is 42.5. So each and every lap, Steve Ritter's losing about 4 seconds to the pack. So he will probably be about another 5 or so laps from getting a lap down, about half a track behind the race leaders already here 10 laps into this one. A few cars ducking out from the inside lane here. Looks like the 38 machine of Matthew Johnson, and maybe the 84 as well. No, not quite the 84. Oh, the 4, let's make it, of Jim Ott, also up there in that 2nd lane. Oh, and for a second here, they will go 3 wide. Ott will get back to the bottom in front of his teammate, part of Hoonigan Racing. And it looks like a few more casualties here that have lost the pack. Looks like the 21 machine of Rob Lull. Same with the 30 machine of Ariba Caton. Both of them have lost the pack here, and about already 3 seconds off the pack. So they are definitely not catching that without a caution. What they have to hope for, if it does go green, that a few guys aren't the greatest on and off pit road can kind of tag up, work together with them, because here in these next gen cars, you probably need at least 4 cars to really start generating some decent energy. As it looks like the 47 machine of John Buell will get rolling out on the speedway, so Buell will rejoin the race in 25th here. Currently the only car any laps down here, but Steve Ritter going to be very close to being a car with that. He's just exiting turn 2, and the leaders going through 1 and 2 already. And it looks like some more cars here trying out that outside lane here tonight. Looks like the 36 machine of Mike Pardusky here up in that lane. Jim Ott once again up there. He will bring along his teammate of the 1 car of Brandon Guerin. Once again, it looks like the 38 also up there as well. So a little bit of momentum starting to be generated up in that top lane. And there we go. We see another car up there. Jeff Pogo will jump out very early to that second lane there. That will check them on up just a little bit, slow it on down. Then they got to get it back, rocking and rolling, which they should be able to once they get back to the start finish line. But right about that time as well, we will see some lap traffic here tonight as we see the 36 machine of Mark jump down to that inside lane here once again. But besides that, nice, easy ride up on the wheel for our race leader here, Dustin Coggin, clicking down the laps here tonight so far. We are currently up to lap 14 of that 100 mark, so looks pretty nice and orderly up at the front. Don't see too many cars, you know, getting way out of line or anything like that, as it sounds like the 61 will stay down on this inside lane here. So the rest of the field will kind of snake around the 61 machine, and Ritter just has to stay within this pack, you know, because then he can stay on the lead lap, currently in that lucky dog position. So all the 61 has to do here is just make sure he doesn't lose the draft, and looks like he'll get swallowed up inside the top 10 even, as everyone's still trying to go around him. But most of the front runners back to the bottom side here. So that 61 slots in about the 7th position or so on that inside lane here. And some big time movers here to kick off the night. This 84 machine up about 17 positions from where he started. Started dead last on the field, and that 84 machine has driven on up to about the 10th position. So looking pretty good for Andreas here at the moment. It looks like biggest loser here at the moment, the 61 of Steve Ritter. The first car one lap down, and that's all because he just lost the draft there at the beginning of the race, and since has yet to recover, because we've been clean and green these first now 16 laps down in the books, and we have been green flag racing since the drop of the green. Dustin Coggin out in front, Kenny Reel running in second, Frank Zingen currently running in P number 3, Kip Easy in the 4th position, and then it is Kevin Roy rounding out the top 5 here. As we start to approach the quarter wave mark here in the Riptide 250. If you guys want some of the best beach and boogie music, be sure to check out Riptide Radio, and they got some great songs playing all the time there. And I believe now on their website they even have an app for your phone as well, so you can always stay in touch with Riptide Radio. Be sure to check them on out, and thanks again for them coming on board for the Riptide 250 here tonight at Daytona. A one car way shuffled on out. That is the 12 machine of Cody Brewer. Brewer stuck top side of 3 wide, will fall back into line here. But Brewer was running about that 7th position, I thought, on that inside lane, so may have went to the top side, try and block, got hung on out, and it looks like the 12 machine will drop to the back of the field. He has to make sure he doesn't lose the draft. Looks like good in that aspect. As speaking about losing the draft, it looks like the 69 machine now of Tanner White has lost the draft, and not sure if something's wrong with that car. You see him kind of wiggling that race car around as, oh, look at this, the 36 machine of Mike Pardewski slow on the racetrack. Pardusky already kind of out of shape here, so we will try and see what, maybe a little bit too far back here to see what happened to the 36, but here we go. The 36 looks like down on the apron, so maybe didn't like where he was at or what happened, and it looks like we're gonna speed this up a little bit just to see what happened. But yeah, looks like maybe a push gone wrong and had to jump out of line and get onto the throttle. Man, what a great job of keeping it off of the field, and mostly hanging on to that race car. Does get the wall a little bit there with the right front, but that could have been so much worse, as we see the 36 machine now all the way back in 23rd here. So drivers starting to get close to that pit window here for their first pit stop, as we keep an eye here now on our race leaders, and it looks like everyone gonna stay out at least this lap by, as everyone trying to figure out when is the time to pull down, when's the time to stay on out. As let's ride on board with the 6 machine. He's kind of the last car on this first pack here, and let's take a look, see what he can see. Hopefully a few drivers peel on off this time and we get to see what it's like to fly by some cars down on pit road. So nothing that time here, but as we can hear riding on board with Johnny Barker, I mean, it's not hold it to the wood and you'll make it around Daytona. You definitely have to play with that momentum, that arrow around your car as well. As we can see Johnny Barker kind of lifting off a little bit on corner entry to make sure he doesn't get into the back of the 46 machine. As we can see the pace a little bit off from where they started at the night. The best time of 45, currently running in the 46s. So I assume drivers trying to save a little bit of fuel if they can, and for sure try and make it to that 24-25 lap mark. I think when it comes to lap 25, I think pit road's going to be very, very busy. Will everyone make it on down? Because here at Daytona, they actually moved the commitment line a little bit more forward. So hopefully every driver has gotten some new braking marks. It used to be kind of the curve of pit road, but now it's a little bit sooner than that. Right about that curve there on the right, you want to start braking, but with that line moved on up to a little bit sooner when you hit it, you of course got to back up that pit marker. As yeah, we hear a lot of drivers making the call to pit road this time. So we will keep a camera on this and see how everyone makes it down onto pit road. See if anyone has too much rear brake or if anyone overshoots it a little bit, trying to get as much as they can coming down to pit road. And here we go. Coggin will lead some cars down to pit road here. And it looks like so far everyone nice and safely down to pit road. Yes, they are. As we see them follow on down to their pit stalls. It looks like about 9 cars staying on out. And it looks like Next Shift Racing gonna stay on out. Same with the 19 machine of Cody Meadows. And then we have Hoonigan Racing also out there as well. And it sounds like this time the rest of the field will dive down onto pit road here. We'll make sure they can all safely get on down. It looks pretty good so far. Not seeing any tire smoke, so everyone down safely in this group as well. Only one car out on track. Joe Hudson here in the 23 machine. He's going to lose a lot of time being stuck out on track by himself without any sort of help. So at 23 might be another driver that may be out of this main pack, but we take a look at what will be our race leader here. Looks like Frank Zingen, the first car off of pit road. Kenny Reel in second, and Coggin trying to hang on to the draft here as we see these guys rolling off of pit road here. How will they file on out? What kind of blend do they have? As the 23 machine dives down pit road here this time by, and here comes that pack up at full song here. Looks like we'll go around the 8 car on that high lane here, so that first pack has 4 cars. That's about the minimum you need to get things rocking and rolling. And that has the 62 of Frank Zingen, Kenny Reel, Dustin Coggin, as well as Jason Wiley. He's up in this pack as well. So the top 4, all part of Penny Stacker Motorsports. And they are on their own island here, at least at the moment. Oh, as we get a caution flag on the Speedway, and it looks like maybe involving the 2 machine of Nick Larson. We will take a look here at the replay here and see what happens. As yeah, I don't see anything there, but maybe because the 2 car was slow enough on the apron that was enough to kind of bring it on out. Definitely interesting. I mean, I think that was the only car kind of slow on the Speedway. Yes, it was. So that's the only thing I could guess it would be, was the caution for the slow number 2 machine. So that will bring out our first caution here of the evening right after our first green flag pit stop. So my guess is that they would be just coming down to pit road to top on off, and that's pretty much it here. So we will see if that is the case here. We'll let drivers get a moment to make sure they get their strategy here before the pit stops, but and we'll see if we can maybe chat with one of these drivers out here tonight. Currently, of the, I believe, 26 cars, well, 24 technically took the green flag. I believe we currently still have all 26 that were supposed to start here tonight out on track here. So currently under our first caution of the evening here, and we'll keep an eye on the field, see if we have any takers for maybe just some fuel down on pit road, trying to make these next couple stops just a little bit slower if they can. I should say a little bit faster, as they spend less time in the box filling up their race cars. And it looks like that will be the case. So the 62 machine of Frank Zingen going to lead a few cars down on pit road. It looks like the first to stay out will be the 97 machine of Jeff Pogo. We'll have about 5 or so cars still out on the racetrack that decided, you know what, we don't think we need to come in and top on off. So we will keep an eye here on the exit of pit road, see who wins that race off of pit road, as 01 car getting spun on pit road. I think that was the 38 machine of Matthew Johnson. Yes, it was, with Extreme Sim TV. A tough break there for Johnson. as he will try and get it in his pit box. Gonna have to continue to rework that car around. And it looks like now inside that pit box, we'll get that car worked on. And I tell you what, if you guys want some more racing action, these guys at Extreme Sim TV bringing the racing action on Friday nights with the league running Xfinity cars there. And you can find all their races live on Extreme Sim TV. Some good stuff over there. Me and him had a little bit of a bet coming into this weekend. I was planning to run the Friday night race, and of course he was here on Sunday night. We had a little bet of who could finish better, but my wheel disconnected lap number 1. Tried to rebound. I think I ended up about 21st or something, 20 laps down. So as long as Matthew Johnson doesn't get involved with a big one, you should have a pretty easy $5 before it's all said and done. So under our first caution flag of the evening, I believe this time by should get the 1 to go signal. We'll re-rack and restack the field here tonight. Of course, we got to thank all of our partners here with the 802 Winston Cup Series, that being BG Graphix, Riptide Radio, GStone Motorsports, as well as Stone, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. As the lights do in fact go on out around the Daytona International Speedway, and it will be about 70 laps left in this one. So about the first third of the race already done and over with. Still got a lot of racing to go. And then of course the biggest thing, the big one, still looming in the back of the minds for all of these drivers here, as we still have everyone still out on the racetrack here. All right, so here we go. Jeff Pogo in the 97 machine going to lead the field to the green flag. To his outside, the biggest mover of the race so far, the 84 machine of Andres Varas, currently in P number 2, going to lead this outside lane here for the first restart of the evening. The iRacing pace car here will make the left-hand turn down to pit road. And now Jeff Pogo can fire on off anytime in the restart zone. And here we go. We head back to green flag racing. The one car, not getting a good start there. Maybe missed a gear. Not sure what happened there, but a big checkup on that inside lane as Brandon Guerin couldn't quite get that one car rocking and rolling. So out in front, Andres Varas leading the race here tonight in the 84 machine. Jeff Pogo running in second. Jim Ott, P number 3. Ariba Caton, I believe, was just about to go a lap down. He's running 4th. And now Frank Zingen is back up to 5th. Zingen will jump out to that outside lane here, have his teammate of Kenny Reel. We'll see what 2 cars can do up on the top side. We'll get some more help from a teammate as the 44 of Dustin Coggin jumps up to lane number 2. And not sure why we're seeing it. I think we've seen it all the time now with the iRacing fixed setup here at Daytona. some low tire pressures as we can see some sparks from pretty much every single car through the corner here at Daytona. But this outside lane here tonight starting to get formed on up a little bit better here. Quite a big push there from the 11 machine. Those two will get clear. We'll see if they will wait for the 44. Yes, they will. And the 44 will get clear as well. So Penny Stacker Motorsports has been in the top 3 a lot tonight. They are back in position here. Looks like the 84 machine will jump out to that second lane here. We'll once again try and run lane number 2 and get back to the race lead. As yeah, we got a question in the YouTube chat land there. Gonna question, do they have a Discord? Yes, they do. If you can try and find them with the 802 iRacing leagues, that will get you on over there. Or you can check them out on Facebook. Shoot their page a message, and I'm sure they'll be happy to help you on out at just facebook.com/802iRacing, and that can help you find the league. There is one car sideways down the backstretch. That is the 48 machine of Brandon Finley. Finley will keep that car off of the wall and out of harm's way. We will stay green flag here, but we'll take a look here. It looks like Finley maybe in the middle, 3 wide. We'll take a look. Slowed on down just a little bit. And yeah, looks like Finley in the middle, 3 wide. And then the 88 of Holcroft will get into the left rear there and spin the 48, but still under green flag here. As Finley, of course, way out from the pack, about a half a track back already. So Finley gonna have to hope for a caution flag here before he gets trapped a lap down, because if he does get a lap down, then he has to battle the, well, actually, no, the 61 is Steve Ritter, now 3 laps down. So if Finley does go a lap down, he could still be the lucky dog. And all right, man, yeah, we'd love to see you out here on the racetrack. These guys, a bunch of good drivers, very relaxed racing league, and always a good time. I had a good time on Friday night, even though, you know, didn't get the results I like. It's always a blast to go out there and turn some laps with these 802 bunch. As well as you're interested in some dirt stuff as well, the 802 iRacing League also has a big block modified league that kicks off about, I want to say, 2 or 3 weeks from now, and that happens on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. As one car in the wall, they are wrecking in the back here. The 12 machine of Cody Brewer goes on around. He will slide through the tri-oval here, and we get our second caution of the evening. That may have kicked off with the one car of Brandon Guerin getting a piece of the wall there, and then everyone else trying to react to that, as we will try and see what happened to that. So keep an eye on the Barstool 1 car here off of turn number 4. Oh, he gets hit by the 69. That sends him into the wall, and then it looks like the 64 and the 47 make contact. That gets into the 12's right rear, and then a pretty big hit to the door for the 12 machine. I think John Buell somehow hangs on to that race car. Yes, he does. He goes for a spin, and man, the 77 just squeezing by of Kevin Roy. As yeah, it looks like Buell will keep it off of the wall, but man, a lot of close calls for a lot of different drivers there. So under our second caution of the evening, we'll see if we can get a word in with our race leader. We'll see if we can get a word with the driver of the 47 machine. it is Frank Zingen here. All right, we'll see if Frank has a copy. Frank, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey, how you doing, Brett?
Pretty good, man. How about yourself? How you feeling out here at Daytona?
I'm doing good. I think we're doing pretty well. We're working together as a team, getting up to the front when we need to, kind of pacing this field.
Yeah, that's definitely been the case here tonight. I mean, Penny Stacker Motorsports, I feel like all but about 3 laps have been sitting in the 1, 2, 3 spot. That's been impressive to see.
Yeah, we've been doing a good job of trying to keep everybody behind us that we want to and getting up front and controlling everybody.
Yeah, and so far you guys doing exactly that. And where I was blown away, how well you guys got on and off of pit road. Was that just some key teamwork going on there to come out with that kind of advantage?
Yeah, we're pretty good at getting on pit road and off pit road under green flags, so we're hoping for a lot of green flag stops and see how much space we can get between us.
Yeah, it sounds like the plan, and I assume do that and control the race from the front from here on out with about 60 to go.
Good luck, everybody.
Yeah, really hoping to get some more green flag stops and see if we can keep that big gap between us.
Yeah, that sounds like a great game plan here. And Frank, before we let you go and get back dialed on in, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to on the broadcast here?
I give a shout out to my family, my daughter and my wife who let me do this. So big shout out to them.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. Well, Frank, good luck with the rest of your race here tonight. Getting close to the halfway point here.
Thanks.
Alrighty, folks, that was our race leader here, the 62 machine of Frank Zingen. And he was the race leader coming onto pit road, but it looks like it is Kenny Reel now out in front. So the 11 car gonna lead the field back to the green flag here. So with us under our second caution of the evening, we're going to go throw it over to a quick commercial break over with our partners at Turn 3 Racing Network. A quick word from Premier Setup Shops. Alrighty, folks, we come back here at Daytona International Raceway, and we get ready here for our second restart of the night. Looks like Kenny Reel here going to choose the outside lane, and if I were to guess, Kenny Reel going to try and get down as quickly as possible in front of his teammate in the 62. as we get ready to turn him loose once again. The iRacing pace car here down on the pit road. And now Kenny Reel on the loud pedal. And we head back to green flag racing. And just like that, Kenny Reel back in front of his teammates. And restart couldn't have gone any better for Penny Stacker Motorsports. They are now the first 4 cars on that inside lane here. So 60 laps here to go here at Daytona for about the Riptide 250. As once again we see the field 2 by 2. As first car leading the outside lane, once again going to be the 8 car of Kip Easley. Easily bringing along the 88 of Dan Holdcroft. And it looks like the 36 machine of Mike Pardusky. Right now, Kenny Reel out in front. Looks like that outside lane, though, losing some ground to that inside lane. We'll see if they can get some momentum rocking and rolling. But they have fallen back to about the 8th position or so. One car a little bit loose going into turn number 3. I think that was a 23 machine of Joe Hudson. May have gotten the apron just a little bit on entry as 3 wide for just a second. As it looks like maybe the 88 might get hung out to dry. The 30 machine now in the middle as well. So how will this work on out? Contact between cars, and wow, that is close in that top lane there, but somehow they will keep it clean and green here at the moment. Looks like the 48 machine gonna pull shoot, say, man, that got a little bit too crazy for my liking, and I don't blame him. As with that kind of confusion up in that second lane here, that has broken up that lane, and they are quickly trying to get back to that bottom side here. As the sun continues to set here at Daytona, man, I tell you what, through the Tri-Oval, I don't know what these drivers are seeing, but even for me on the broadcast, it's starting to look a little dark through there. So hopefully those drivers can see everything all right. But up in the broadcast booth, it's maybe a little bit questionable. Here we go. We got one car working the outside lane. It is the 46 machine of Eli Raposa. So Raposa getting some help, it looks like, from the 21 machine as well. So those two going to try and bring back up that top lane if they can. Now 3 wide here as Cody Meadows in that 19 machine in the middle here. Looks like Meadows might get some help here. So we'll see if this dissipates, or it's for sure going to hurt that outside lane just a little bit as they get stuck running the wall here. As everyone so far making it work here. As it looks like Cody Brewer going to get maybe just a piece of the wall there off of turn number 4. So that 12 car has to leave about, maybe an extra 6-inch buffer there to make sure he doesn't get a piece of it. And it's tough to do here at Daytona. You can just barely go 3 wide, and you have to be really precise with your car position and really trust the guys around you to make sure that they do that same thing. As that outside lane, though, starting to get some momentum and claw their way back to the front there. Looks like the 46 machine of Raposa up into the top 5 here. So that outside does have some speed here. As it looks like after that second caution of the night, the 64 machine of Greg Drives going to be done for the evening. So the 64 done and out of the race. As everyone on the inside lane, except for about 8 or so cars up there in lane number 2. Lane number 2, of course, being led by Eli Raposa. And then Kenny Reel out in front, though. Reel, of course, looking for that big accomplishment, that sweeping the Daytona Speed Weeks with qualifying. That box is checked. The duel, that box is checked. Now just has to get the job done here in these last about 52 laps for the 11. I tell you what, he was definitely one of the favorites coming into tonight with that super speedway experience. As we see a few cars there continuing to leave that outside lane here. So that outside lane now about down to 6 or so cars. 4 cars up in that first pack, then kind of 2 stragglers a little bit further behind. So as you guys can kind of see, 4 cars good enough to kind of hold their own pace, but they definitely need a few more friends up there in lane number 2 to start making up time on that pack on the inside. As it looks like the 36 now once again back to the 12, so that will help them a little bit. As it looks like lights on the Daytona International Speedway here, so kicking on the infield lights as the sun continues to set. As you can see, these cars though, even at this 190 miles an hour, it's not planted to the track. You can see them all wiggling around just a little bit. Even our race leader Kenny Reel moving around just a little bit. As here we go, this time by at the start finish line, we are officially halfway there to the end of the Riptide 250. So the first half of the race done and complete. Kenny Reel leading at the halfway point. So I think with that here, I'm going to take a break from yapping a little bit and let the cars do the talking. So let's do a little turn 3, turn it up here at Daytona. Alrighty, we come back here at Daytona. Now, of course, after the halfway point here, so I believe with everyone topping on off the last time they did, we should see cars down on pit road about 10 laps or so. As Kenny Reel's still out in front, that second lane has dissipated way to the back of the field now. Now it looks like now the 84 machine trying to bring along that second lane here. Raposa fell back to about that 16th position. Now like the 5th car in line up in that second lane here. As now John Buell will pull on out and try and lead that second lane in the 47. Wow, big time sideways there for the 36 machine. That light blue number 36. How did he hang out of that race car? Because that thing was whipping both left and right. It looks like, yeah, he's like, that was enough fun for me up in lane number 2. We'll get down to that inside lane here. So everyone kind of riding on around here. They know they still got a lot of time left in this race. I mean, I don't expect anyone to really start making moves till about 10 or so to go. That's when you really want to get formed on up with the people you want and really try and get at least to about the top 10, top 15. Then after that, 5 to go. It's all hands on deck and it is go time from there. Look at this. This is kind of interesting. The top 4 penny stacker cars starting to break away from the rest of the pack just a little bit here. So I tell you what, those penny stacker boys got something figured out for the trim here tonight. Even though, you know, in iRacing, everyone has the same setup. This league, of course, running fixed setup. So everyone has the same setup. Everyone's exactly even. The only thing you can adjust from there is some steering ratio and some brake bias. Besides that, nothing else you can do to these race cars. As it looks like John Buell here in that outside lane, he's got some more friends up there, and it looks like that 47 machine making his way back up to the front here to about 5th position on that inside lane. So that outside here has gotten rocking and rolling. Looks like Buell will drop down to the inside lane though. Let's ride on board. Maybe let's go on board with the 36 machine. Let's see what he is seeing out in front of that car, just to see these cars kind of moving on around as we ride on board with Mike Pardusky. And you can hear there a lot of playing with the throttle. Wow, big shot to the back of the 38 machine. But that's how hectic it gets in just riding around in your respective lane. Then you know you add another lane up on top and that just gets super crazy. So this time by at the stripe here tonight, we will see about 40 laps to go left in this one. Looks like the last few cars in this pack here kind of riding on around. The 88 machine of Dan Holcroft, Kevin Roy in the 77, and the 21 machine of Rob Lowe. These guys, though, going to start getting very close to losing that pack draft here. Cannot get above about 0.5 of a second or half a second. Once that happens, you are pretty much guaranteed to lose the draft. As here we go, we hear some calls to pit road. I believe the 21 machine, one of those drivers, getting ready to duck down pit road here this time by. And yes, they do. 4 cars down to pit road here tonight. It is the bunch of Wolfpack Racing here. All their cars down on pit road here this time by. So our first of our kind of second round of green flag pit stops is underway here. So now we'll take the camera, put it back on the front runners here. When does the likes of the 11, the 62, the 84, and the 4, when do they all come down pit road? It looks like this group will in fact go yet another lap there, so no takers that time down on pit road. So only 3 cars up in lane number 2 as the pack gets ready for green flag pit stops. And that kind of makes sense. If you're pitting, you do not want to be trying to pit from the second lane here. So everyone trying to get down on this inside lane to get ready to head to pit road. When they decide is the right time, that's a question for these drivers and teams, as here we go. Quite a few drivers this time, including our race leader. Everyone down, looks like safely, maybe not. The 48 machine and the 23 sideways on pit road entry. That is Brandon Finley as well as Joe Hudson here. And it looks like Finley gonna hit the tow button. May call it a night here, so we'll keep an eye on the 48 machine. As it looks like only 8 cars still out on track yet to hit their second to last pit stop of the night. Jim Ott currently out in front leading the way here. And it sounds like this group coming on down to pit road this time. Yes, they do. Everyone down to pit road. Brandon Guerin a little bit loose, a little sideways, able to woe up that race car. Same with everyone down and away behind them. Further on back here, Frank Zingen by himself by a country mile here. Not sure what the 62 machine did down pit road, but it was blistering. Looks like maybe no tires, just fuel. Same with the 36 machine as well. Kenny Reel about 12 seconds in the pit stall, so I'd have to think maybe just 2 tires for the 11 machine. Jim Ott, Jeff Pogo, both away with just fuel as well. So we will have to see where these guys cycle on out, but if they can get up to speed at a decent speed, they could be our new race leaders with just that fuel here. As 35 laps to go, you can see the momentum of the pack up there behind them, able to get things rolling, and it looks like slicing in and out to get a little bit of momentum. Now it looks like the 36 will fall into line here. Now John Buell will lead line number 2 to the race lead here. So Buell multiple laps down here tonight. So it is actually Kenny Reel out to the point. Kenny Reel gonna lead here on lap 60. I should say the conclusion of 65. As contact, and it looks like Jim Ott and Jeff Pogo involved in this. And that will bring out our third caution of the evening. as Pogo looks like we'll get that car rolling. Jim Ott still stopped against the outside wall, and Ott will try and get that car rolling here. And we have to wonder what kind of damage is to these race cars here as the field slows for the third caution of the evening. Let's take a look to see what happened to bring it on out. So it looks like, the 13 machine of Jason Wiley trying to get back into the line. Thought he could clear the 4, did not. And then the 4 and the 97 made contact with the outside wall. And definitely the 4 machine of Jim Ott with the worst amount of damage out of that one. And that's a big break to Hoonigan Racing, as now it's only about one car without damage, and that is the one car Brandon Guerin. As the field will catch the iRacing pace car here, so we're not going to miss any racing action, so we'll be back after a quick commercial break here from Daytona.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
So we come back here at Daytona, and maybe we'll try and get a word from the driver of the 97 machine, Jeff Pogo, currently still down on pit road here, trying to get some damage repaired on the 97. We will see how bad the damage is for the 97 here. Jeff, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Oh, I sure do.
Alrighty, man. What did you see from that one?
I saw dumbass moves, what I saw.
Yeah, I mean, a tough break for you. Pretty much the only two cars involved after that contact were you and your teammate.
Yeah, that's what happens, man. You go around, you play with the squirrels, you're going to get your nuts busted.
Hey, that's definitely the truth, and Mike Eddy said that quote, and that cannot be more true. How bad's the car there?
It's fixed. All the damage is good to go, but I don't know what it's going to do from here.
Alrighty, yeah. So far, at least on the broadcast, once you rolled from your pit stall, your car does look pretty clean, if that helps you at all with your mindset going forwards.
It helps. I mean, We'll see what happens. I can't see my hood anymore, so that's a plus.
Hey, there you go. Well, what is the mindset and game plan going on? How, 30 laps to go, starting in the back. What's the game plan here?
Take every run I can.
All
Go
right.
straight to the front.
Yep, I like the call there, Jeff.
It's gonna be fun to watch, if anything.
Yeah, that it is. If someone could get the job done, could be that 97 machine, right?
We're gonna try, buddy.
All righty. Well, Jeff, before we let you go and get back to it, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to on the broadcast here?
Oh, let's just go with you, Brett. Let's just stick it with that.
All righty. Well, appreciate it, Jeff. And thank you for being part of the show here. And good luck with the rest of the race. Hopefully it goes better for you.
Thanks, buddy.
All righty, folks. That was the driver of the 97 machine, Jeff Pogo, saying, hey, we're involved with it with not the moves he likes to see, but he got the damage repaired, and we'll try and get back to the front. He says he's going to go to there, take every run he can get, because it is starting to get about that time here with our third restart of the night. It's going to be about a 30-lap sprint to the finish. All right, here we go. Front row. Looks like Ariba Caton as well as Kenny Reel. The 30 machine leading the field to the green flag. And Ariba on the loud pedal. Doesn't quite get the greatest launch though. Looks like Kenny Reel and Frank Zingen should be able to get clear. Yes, they do from the 30 machine. Now here comes the 6 machine of Johnny Barker. Barker will now lead that outside lane here as Kenny Reel back to the point. And yeah, with that spin coming to pit road, it looks like the 48 machine done for the evening. So about 3 retirements here so far tonight. Still have over 20 cars on the lead lap here and dueling for every position, as we have yet to see the big one here tonight, as it looks like we got our first taker up on the outside lane. The 36 machine will jump to the outside of the 13. Looks like we'll bring along the 69 of Tanner White. So White having a pretty good rebound here tonight. At one point earlier in the race, we saw him by himself, lost that pack, has since gotten back to it with the cautions, and now right in the thick of it, second car in that second lane. So Kenny Reel out in front leading the way here. Jim out with that heavy damage for the 4 machine. Was not able to keep up with the pack there. As you can see, that car definitely killed. So about 20 cars in this main pack. That 20th place driver right now is the 21 of Rob Lowell. Lowell will try and, of course, get back to the front, but I think he's going to ride on around. He thinks probably there is another caution yet to come. I think last year, looking at the race results and the statistics, we are definitely way under the caution amount here tonight. As last season, we had 13 cautions here to open up the season. Here tonight, only 3. And I think a big thing to go with that, this league eliminated a fast repair this season. So no fast repair. So every car that these drivers start with, they have to finish with. And I like that call. It can be kind of scary and intimidating to see no fast repair, no cushion to fall back on if something crazy happens, but it also then creates a different mindset for drivers to kind of second guess certain moves and whatnot, to say, hey, we only got 1 car, so if this is a low percentage move, maybe we don't do this time around and we live to see the checkered flag. I think that's the case here tonight. Down way lower on the caution numbers here tonight, and I give these drivers a lot of props as we close on into the countdown clock here. As, oh, we get a caution, and it is the big one here. As Katen involved in the 30 machine, the 12 and the 84 with some damage as well. So the 77 also here stopped. That is Kevin Roy, as Johnny Barker, heavy damage. As we will take a look here to see what happened to bring out this fourth caution right before the countdown clock. So Canton already kind of out of sorts. So we'll back it up even a little bit further here and try and get a far angle shot. So we got to keep an eye on the 30 machine of Reba Caton going through the corner here. Dustin Coggin looking to the inside. Coggin now to position, and it looks like the 30 machine washes down the track just a little bit, enough to send the 30 machine sideways. And then Johnny Barker in the 6, a big time hit there as he had nowhere to go. Was not expecting that. Then the 12 of Cody Brewer gets hooked in the right rear up into then the door of the 30 machine. Man, that is a big time hit as well. So the 30 taking quite a few hits. And then we take a look here to see what happened to Kevin Roy. Looks like the 77 just got loose on the transition from the banking to the apron there. And the 77 going to kind of lightly back it into the outside fence there. So probably not too much damage to the 77 of Kevin Roy. Wow, that brings out our fourth caution flag of the evening. The field slowed on up, and I have a feeling we should see the entire field down on pit road here, because I think with this, if there's a little bit of fuel saving, this field can make it to the end on fuel. So in theory, this could be the last pit stop of the evening, as Kenny Reel will in fact lead that field down to pit road here. Everyone on the lead lap down on pit road. So this could be the money stop for a lot of drivers. We will take a look here at the pit exit line and see who wins the race off of pit road here. Frank Zingen down and away. Kenny Reel, a great stop from the 11. He will win the race off of pit road. Then it is the 62, 36, 44, and the 69 rounding out the top 5. So under our fourth caution flag of the evening, once again, we will go to a quick commercial break from our sponsor. On the other side, we'll be back for about a 23 lap shootout here tonight at Daytona for the Riptide 250 with the 802 Winston Cup Series. So here we go, folks. The lights are extinguished on the Daytona International Raceway, and that means we are going green flag racing next time by. Kenny Reel gonna choose the outside lane once again, and we get ready for a 23-lap shootout here tonight at Daytona. We take a look here from the fan experience here at Daytona, taking a look from some camera shots from the crowd. As the race has completely gone dark here, the sun has set, the lights are on, and we are racing into the night here for the Riptide 250, kicking off the season. And I tell you what, a lot of good tracks on the schedule here for the 802 Next Gen Winston Cup Series. After tonight, next Sunday, these drivers will take on the Rock. It is Rockingham Speedway for the Tar Heel 200. Then they start their West Coast swing with Auto Club Speedway. Such a shame that place got tore down and stuck in limbo there. Hopefully we get some sort of racetrack there, but such a sad scene to see that place get torn down, and another track kind of close on by Irwindale Speedway. Then after Auto Club, they head to New Hampshire, Phoenix, Charlotte, and Iowa, and that kind of ends the first stint at the start of December there for this season. So Frank Zing and Kenny Reel on the front row as we get ready to head back to Green Flag Racing. The iRacing pace car will head down pit road, and 23 laps to go for this field. Kenny Reel gonna jump on it here, and we head back to Green Flag Racing as Reel will quickly get down to that bottom side. Now what do they do with their third car, Dustin Coggin? Can he get to the front here? And maybe even more importantly, can the 44 get teamed back on up with his teammates? Coggin gonna lead that outside lane here down the back straightaway. He does have an opening down on the bottom side, and in fact, he will take it. So he will slot in front of his teammate in the 13 machine. As now, once again, Kip Easley going to lead the outside lane. And he's getting pushed by now the 97 machine of Jeff Pogo. So Pogo involved not with this most recent caution, but the one before it. So the 97 here trying to get back up to the front. So it seems like from that incident, the 30 machine as well as the 6 done for the evening. But out in front, Kenny Reel continues to lead the way here tonight. Frank Zingen currently running in the second position. Then Mike Pardusky sits third, Tanner White fourth, and Dustin Coggin rounding out the top 5. As Kip Easley trying to get into that top 5 in lane number 2. That second lane up to 4 cars there, so about the minimum they need to be here tonight. As one car big time sideways down the back straightaway. That is Eli Raposa in the 46 here spinning on the backstretch. Looks like we'll keep it out of harm's way, so we stay Green Flag Racing. So we will try and see what happened to Eli there as he got loose off of the corner, and maybe a push gone bad from the 21. Yes, that looks like the case. The 46 maybe off the bottom just a little bit, but then a push in the back from the 21 enough to send the 46 on around. Now Raposa will have to hope for a caution before it's all said and done. But here down the backstretch, about 19 and a half laps left here tonight. As it looks like the 38 of Matthew Johnson able to get down to the bottom side there. As Kip Easley has led that second lane up to P number 2 now. Does Kenny Real throw the block? No, he doesn't. Heads up racing to the lead as Kip out in front. Does Kip now go to the bottom side, or does he stick to lane number 2? Looks like right now it's sticking to lane number 2 here. Kenny Real getting some big pushes from the 62 of Zingen as that car dancing on around the speedway. Let's ride on board with the 88. Taking a look at these cars pushing very heavily right in front of him. I tell you folks, that is a quick lap around Daytona International Speedway here. Riding on board with our driver, currently third in line up in that second lane here. As easily had the chance to drop down to that bottom side, did not take it, so going to be once again pretty even with Kenny Real going down this back straightaway. And now the 97 and the 8 get clear to the bottom side just in time as Kenny Real had a big head of steam. Real had to back on out of it a little bit. Now the 88 of Dan Holcroft will lead that second lane. Contact though as the 19 goes on around. More cars involved as we get our second big one of the night here for our fifth caution. Brandon Guerin involved with it. Same with the 19 of Cody Meadows. Tanner White in the 69 has some heavy damage on both ends of that race car. So we will try and see what happened to kick off that incident to bring out our fifth caution of the evening. Looks like John Buell and Cody Meadows get together. That will start the incident. Looks like we'll get a piece of the 36. As old Dustin Coggins gets a piece of it with his right front. And then what happens to the 69? Oh, we'll hit John Buell. And then we'll get turned on around by the 44. I tell you what, a great wreck avoidance there from the 13 of Jason Wiley. He had to drive through the middle of that thing and somehow able to keep that car in one piece. Let's ride on board with Wiley as, oh, that's where the big damage for the 69 happened. Way late after the incident, will smack the wall pretty hard there as well. As we ride on board with Brandon Guerin, just didn't see what was about to hit him there into the left rear for the number 1 machine, and then he's just along for the ride, spinning through the grass there. As let's ride on board with Jason Wiley, see what he saw as cars going all around him on the speedway and somehow able to get through it. That was a 13 machine of Jason Wiley doing a great job at some wreck avoidance there. So under our fifth caution of the evening, with about 15 laps to go, looks like only about 8 cars staying out on the racetrack. Kip easily one of those cars. Same with Jeff Pogo, Kenny Real, Dan Holcroft, and Frank Zingen. So that is our top 5. Everyone else down on pit road. And look at this, folks. From 3 laps down, the 61 machine of Steve Ritter is in the fight here tonight. He is back onto the lead lap and I believe up into the top 10 now. So looks like Ritter will restart in the 9th position here with a sprint left in this one. So we will take a look at cars down on pit road, getting some extra repairs. Looks like Mike Pardusky down on pit road. Same with Cody Meadows, Tanner White, and Cody Brewer all down on pit road to get some damage repaired, as well as the 44 of Dustin Coggin. So a lot of those cars down on pit road for extended repairs here. As I believe this time by we should get the 1 to go signal. So Kip easily going to have lane choice here on the front row. And it sounds like the 8 car will restart on the outside lane. So that'll put Jeff Pogo inside of the front row as we now will restack the field and get ready to turn him on loose to about a 13 lap shootout left in this one here. It looks like extensive repairs for the 36 and the 44 did not beat the pace car on out, so their nights might be done and over with. And it looks like at the moment 17 cars on the lead lap. Last car on there, the 12 machine of Cody Brewer. You can see that right front and left front damage on the 12 machine. So down the backstretch for the final time under our 5th caution of the evening. As on the front row, Kip Easley in control of this restart. And the other car on the front row, the 97 machine of Jeff Pogo. Row number 2 be made up of Kenny Reel and Dan Holcroft. And then row number 3, Frank Zingen and Matt Johnson here. So I think with the amount of cars knocked on out here tonight, Matt's going to win $5 for myself. Gonna have the better finish here at Daytona and could blow me out of the water here, as he's right in line for maybe even a top 5 finish. As here we go, iRacing pace car down on pit road. Kip Easley on it, and here we go back to green flag racing at Daytona. Easley away here. Can he bring his teammate to the front? No, he cannot. So the 8 car will stay up in lane number 2. That puts the race lead maybe in the hands of the 97 machine of Jeff Pogo. Cars darting all over the backstretch there, especially on that inside lane, as some big time push is being delivered. The field now back up to speed upwards of 190 miles an hour here tonight at Daytona. As Jeff Pogo, I believe, will lead his first laps of the night here tonight, now with 12 laps to go. Kip Easley starting to bleed a ton of positions up in lane number 2. Looks like that outside lane not formed up enough, and not enough cars. They are almost outside of the top 10 here, as out in front Kenny Reel will pull out a line. He will go to the front here. Kenny Reel back up to the point there with a move to the outside of Jeff Pogo. So now Reel and Zagan, some gap to the pack behind them. How will this work on out as 3 wide cars on the apron, and somehow they keep it rolling? As wow, Eli Raposa had to go down on the apron to avoid contact, almost 4 wide there for a second, but they will keep it rocking and rolling. Oh, 1 car hard in the outside wall. That is the 47 machine of John Buell. And it looks like maybe the 1 car of Brandon Guerin with some damage as well. So we will try and figure out what happened to bring out the caution. Maybe slow it on down a little bit there, but definitely some contact as the inside lane stacks up there. Oh, and Buell maybe bounces off the 4 a little bit, and that was enough to have the 1 car hook the right rear and send him hard into the outside wall. John Buell's night probably done and over with. Same with maybe the 1 car, Brandon Guerin, as he limps that car back to pit road here. But that right front definitely broken on that race car. So as Darrell Waltrip once said, cautions breed cautions, and that is definitely the case here tonight. Only had about, I think, 3 cautions with about 25 to go. And since then, we've had caution after caution once these guys start to get up to speed. And that probably won't change from here on out, because now we'll have a single-digit lap left sprint here tonight. So it'll probably be about 8 laps to go once we go back to green flag racing. And at that point, you got to start taking every run you can get. And maybe under this caution condition here, we will try and get a word maybe now with the 13 machine. That is Jason Wiley here. So we'll see if Wiley has a copy and get his thoughts here of this race with about an 8-lap shootout left in this one. Hey Jason, you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yes, sir. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. How about yourself, man? How you feeling with now under 10 laps to go? You get to restart third here.
Feeling pretty good. We've had a pretty good team effort here, so we kind of got a plan to the end.
Yeah, I tell you what, this Penny Stacker group seems like they have been firing on all 8 cylinders here tonight. I mean, what's been the key? Just you guys all communicating very, very well and sticking to a strategy?
That's it. Yeah, we've all been just being able to stay with each other mostly. Everybody's had good pit stops. Everybody's coming out together and just being able to stay together. I hate we lost Dustin in that last wreck, but hopefully we'll be able to finish 1, 2, 3 here.
Yeah, and this is where the action starts to ramp on up. What's the game plan here? Just going to be keeping the rest of the pack behind you here and hope to be there at the end in the top 3?
That's it, yeah. Just trying to stay in the line here and just keep that outside lane at bay and then work it out between the 3 of us.
Yeah, that sounds like a great game plan. And Jason, we got to talk about, we rode on board with you for that wreck avoidance, I think 2 or 3 wrecks ago. Man, that was sketchy. How'd you make it through that one?
I have no idea. I thought I was cooked, but luckily I was just able to get through it. That one, and then plus Dustin, got taken out right in front of me too, and so that one was sketchy as well. Most time I'm caught up in those. I've just gotten lucky.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was some great driving by you, some great moves to keep that car clean and to the end of this one. So Jason, before we let you go and get back talking with your teammates, we're going to go hand over the mic to you and have you thank who you got to thank or give a shout out to on the broadcast here.
Give a shout out, to my teammates first of all. Penny Stacker's there, and also a sponsor in the cars, Legacy Maker, SportsNetwork.com, and 3780 Media Group. That's our sports photography group. That's who we shoot for. And yeah, that's it. Hopefully we come home 1, 2, 3 here.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. Well, good luck to these last about 8 laps here tonight, Jason. Hopefully we'll be talking to you when it's all said and done.
Hope so. Thank you.
Yep, thank you as well. You take care. We'll get you moved. Alrighty, folks, that was the driver of the 13 machine, Jason Wiley, hoping for a podium when it's all said and done, and he sits in a pretty good spot. His two teammates up in front of him. As the lights go out, Kenny Reel going to choose the outside lane, and here we go, folks. It is now the sprint to the finish. It looks like only about now 15 cars on the lead lap. The last car that is on the lead lap, Jim Ott. And I tell you what, Jim had a ton of damage, if you guys remember, on both ends of that race car. Now that car looks a lot better here. Looks like maybe just a little bit of left front damage on the 4 machine. Actually make it both left and right side, but looking a lot better than it did a few laps ago. So here we go. We get ready to turn him on loose within 10 laps to go here at Daytona for the Riptide 250. The field re-racked, restacked, and ready to get back rolling here. As we get ready to rock and roll here, the iRacing pace car once again retreats back to pit road, and Kenny Reel gonna be in control, and I have a feeling we'll fall down to that inside lane as soon as possible as we head back to green flag racing with now 7 laps to go. Kenny Reel will do just that, leaving the tri-oval here. Jeff Pogo now by himself up in lane number 2. Does he get any help anytime soon? It looks like here at the moment, not quite. As cars sideways further on back. Jim Ott, and it looks like Kevin Roy here sideways on the back straightaway. So that didn't take too much time to bring out a caution flag once again, and Jim Ott, I was just saying that 4 car was looking a lot better, now looking a lot worse, as that right front definitely broke on that car. So we will see what happened here through turns 1 and 2, and it looks like the 77 maybe into the left rear quarter panel of the 4, and then big time contact to the outside wall. I mean, Jim Ott was low on the racetrack, but I feel like there was enough room for the 4, but those two just coming together there to bring out our 7th caution. And with that, it won't quite be a green-white checkered, but it's probably going to be about a 4-lap shootout to determine who's picking up the checkered flag and walking away with the Riptide 250 trophy. And I talked a little bit about the schedule here for the 802 iRacing League. Here's here, I think I can, yeah, here we go. I can pull it up on screen here, folks. So here's what the schedule looks like here coming up for season number 6. I can't believe it's already season number 6 for this group, and this is what the schedule will look like here. So last Sunday, they had the duels. Tonight, of course, the Riptide 250. Then Rockingham Auto Club, New Hampshire, Phoenix, Charlotte, and Iowa to make up the stint. But then we got to take a look at those playoff races. Kicking it off at Michigan. Then we head to Dover and Chicagoland to eliminate then 5 cars from there from the original 15. Then it is Vegas, Gateway, and I think Phoenix again. No, sorry, it is Homestead, excuse me. Then the finale round will be Atlanta, Nashville, and Kansas. Some great looking racetracks there. And that will come on up, of course, later in the year. Looks like the 84 machine going to be the lucky dog this time by. We'll get one of those laps back, and I think maybe on the lead lap. But with the timing of this caution here, folks, this will be a unofficial green-white checkered here, because with the 5 to go, with the lights still on, next time by, lights will go on off. It'll be 4 to go, then 3 to go once we go back green flag racing. And that's a green-white checkered there, but will not count towards the green-white checkers here in the series, because it is a natural one to end what could maybe end things off. Of course, if we get a caution flag before we see the white flag, we are going into overtime here at Daytona. And some big time movers up through the field here. We talked to him under the last caution. It is the 13 machine of Jason Wiley. Wiley is up 17 positions from where he started. He started P number 20. He's up to third. Another big mover, the car behind him, Cody Meadows. Meadows, we saw involved pretty big in an incident a few cautions ago, able to get that 19 machine repaired. And Meadows now sits in P number 4. And Steve Ritter, from 3 laps down here early on in this race, Ritter is into the top 5 with a shot at this thing. As it looks like out in front, Kenny Reel going to choose the outside lane here. As the lights will go on out at Daytona, and we get ready for a green-white checkered. So the last time this group was at a super speedway last season in season number 5, the win went to Brandon Guerin. Guerin, of course, out of the race here tonight, so may get a new winner. But when looking at the league stats, there's only one guy with double digits wins here with this league. Sitting at 10 wins is the 11 car. Would love to get the matching car number amount of wins here tonight and sweep this weekend. Or could we see maybe an upset here? Cody Meadows, the highest running car that's not in Penny Stacker Motorsports. As the field gets bunched on up here, the iRacing pace car heads down pit road, and here we go. Kenny Reel once again has been on fire with these starts. Needs to time up another good one here as we head back to green flag racing here with 3 to go for the Riptide 250. Kenny Reel down to that inside lane, though. He checked it on up. Here comes now Cody Meadows on the outside lane. That outside lane formed up a little bit better. Cody Meadows out to the point. New race leader, the 19 machine, will lead the way down the backstretch. Jeff Pogo in the 97. Where does he go? He will stick to that outside lane. He gets pushed by the 8 of Kip easily. Now here comes that inside lane with some momentum. Kenny Reel will poke out in front. Kenny Reel will lead at the stripe here. Popsicle sticks up in the air. It is 2 laps to go here at Daytona. The outside lane needs a little bit more friends up there to keep it rocking and rolling. Only 4 cars up in lane number 2. They start to lose some ground to that inside lane. Now it becomes who is the first to pull on out. Is it Steve Ritter? No, it's not. Joe Hudson will cut the car to the right. Hudson now leads lane number 2. Out in front though, Kenny Reel here leading the way. Through 3 and 4, the field will come. And as long as we see the white flag here, we are racing back to the stripe. Looks like we will not need any overtime as the white flag comes out. 1 more lap to go here for the Riptide 250. Kenny Reel will lead the way into turn number 1 here. Joe Hudson trying to regain some ground up on that second lane. He is up into P number 3. Cody Meadows pushing his heart out in the 19 machine. They go even down the backstretch. Here we go. The race is on as Hudson able to get clear. Does he go down? Yes, he does. He will get stuck in the middle as he does make it to the bottom. Wow. Kenny Reel will give him a big push. It will be a drag race to the line. Kenny Reel down low. Contact here. Big time contact as to the stripe. Cody Meadows will pick up the win as a lot of cars wrecking on around. But wow, what a photo finish there between Cody Meadows, Joe Hudson, and look at this, Jeff Pogo will round out the podium. Wow, what a finish there. Let's take a look here one more time at the finish there just to see how close it was at the stripe. As we will slow it on down and look at the replay. Somehow Cody Meadows from this second lane will pick up the win. Looks like maybe Joe Hudson makes some contact with the 19. That will pull the car on up. Then Hudson goes down to block Kenny Reel down to the inside as Meadows starts to squeeze on down as well. So that gets Kenny Reel out of sorts down low. Looks like Jason Wiley will go for a big spin into the side of the 8. And hear how close it is at the stripe. Man, right there is the start finish line as 2 cars sideways inside the top 5. But Cody Meadows by a nose able to pick up the checkered flag here as we head back live to Cody Meadows burning it on down here on the front stretch. Wow, what a finish. What a way to officially kick off the season for season number 6 of the 802 Winston Cup Series. So don't go anywhere, folks. We still got some more coverage to happen here tonight. Right after a quick commercial break, we will head back to talk to our top 3 finishers, that being Cody Meadows, Joe Hudson, and Jeff Pogo. So don't go anywhere, folks. We will be right back.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we come back here to Daytona International Raceway and chat with our podium finishers here tonight. Our first driver we will be talking to is the driver of the 97. It is Jeff Pogo. Jeff, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, buddy, I got you.
Alrighty, man. So when it's all said and done, the 97 machine walks out of here with a podium. How you feeling after Daytona?
I'm feeling good. Did exactly what I told you I was going to do. I was going to drive that thing up to the front. I did. We had a little bit of, I don't know, I say some quick lane changes for me to get up there. I cleared myself twice. But, did what I had to do. And, both my teammates wrecked out. So I found two people with Kip in the 8 and then Cody in the 19. Said I'd work with him. I just told Cody, I said, whatever you do, don't leave me. I'll push you to the front.
Yeah, and that's what you're able to do there at the end. And how tough was it to get this thing kind of wound up and organized in those 3 short laps there at the end to try and generate enough of a run to try and for a shot at this thing?
Well, it's real hard when none of the 4 guys that is all the top lane was trying to create enough energy, and none of us were teammates. So trying to work with guys that you don't know is kind of hectic. But I knew that Kenny, Frank, and Steve, all them guys were not going to come apart. I knew exactly what they were doing on the restarts with Kenny taking high, going to drop down in front of Frank. I know the games, all that stuff. And I was just praying Cody wasn't going to drop once we cleared the 11, because if he did, I knew the 11, the 11, the 62, and 61, all those guys were going to go high. And then we would have got sucked back to the pack. They would have cleared us again. So I know the games. I mean, I know everybody in here thinks that Kenny's the greatest at super speedways, but we just kept them out of the top 3 on the podium. So that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, you guys were able to, and I know, Jeff, you're a big super speedway fan, so you got to be feeling pretty good with a podium here tonight, right?
Yeah, I feel real good with it. Come off a win at one of the duels, and then this. I even found a little section of the track to turn right on tonight, so maybe that's what did it.
Hey, that it was. We saw you in the background, one of the shots, taking the chicane on the backstretch. And I tell you what, I'm sure you feel the same way. Without the grass there, it doesn't feel the same, right?
Dude, I said to Jim and Brandon, I go, I don't even know if I'm going to know how to run this thing. I don't have any grass for markers.
I know, it definitely is a sad sight to seeing them take away that there. But coming back here to tonight, overall, 3rd position, great way to kick off the season. Next week, we, of course, leave the super speedways, head to Rockingham, more traditional track. How you feeling about that place?
I don't know that I've run Rockingham in this car unless we did it last season, so I'll have to do some practicing during the week for sure. But ready to get away from these kind of tracks that, as far as I'm concerned, it's a luck game. So people can be good at it and they're good at what they do here, but it's just a big luck game, as you've seen.
Yeah, that definitely is the case here. And Jeff able to roll the dice, get lucky here. I mean, you were at one point getting repairs done here tonight and walk away when it's all said and done on the podium, man.
Yeah, it was a good night. I just stick with it, keep going. If Jim and Brandon wouldn't have got caught up with some stuff, we'd have really had something for them. But, it is what it is. It's super speedways, ready to be done with this and move on to a real track.
Yep, that is definitely the key and the thought process we need to have for this long season. As I always like to ask people, especially kicking off a new season, Jeff, what kind of sim setup are people rocking and rolling with these days? So, Jeff, what do you got these days for wheel pedals? What are you looking at? All that good stuff.
Running Track Racer TR120 rig, Mozart 9 base, GSI wheel, custom built dash I made with tablet. Four monitors, triple 32s, GT style race seat, butt kickers, You know, I'd say it's a basic setup, but it's really not.
I was gonna say that sounds like a very, very intrinsic and very well built basic setup.
Yeah, I mean, I went as far as even adding like nets you would see in a GT3 car on both sides of me too. So when we do the endurance races, you actually feel like you're in it.
Wow, that is awesome, Jeff. That sounds like a super cool rig to sit down in and do some racing in.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I'll be honest with you. I put the seatbelt harnesses on this, and I thought that's gonna be the dumbest thing I ever purchased, but at least it looks cool. But when you do any kind of racing, they always say make sure you pull your belts tight, like GT racing especially. It actually helps keep you in the seat. You're not sliding around under hard braking and pushing yourself back and moving side to side. So I would actually recommend it to anybody who does not have belts in a rig.
Wow, that is pretty cool, and I definitely like that. Even moving millimeters, that movement does matter when it comes to sim racing, where you got to be so on top of the wheel, right?
Oh, it does, especially like your seating position. If you're moving at all in the seat from one lap to the next, the little change in brake pressure from you either moving forward in your seat or back in the seat changes everything. So it definitely helps.
Yeah, awesome stuff, and that sounds like a killer setup, Jeff. Well, before we let you go and celebrate the P number 3 here tonight, we're gonna go hand over the mic to you one last time and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you want to give a shout out to on the broadcast here.
Well, let's go ahead and thank big ass fans that's on my car for this season. I got to thank my wife for allowing me to do this and watching the little one. My daughter's not feeling so hot tonight, so big thanks to that. Thanks to my teammates tonight for some help, even though they didn't get to finish, unfortunately. Got to thank Cody for not ditching me at the end there and allowing me to push him to the front. And then Kip as well, willing to work with me. So, and then give a shout out to my old teammates. I know Dan, Eric, and Steve are probably watching the broadcast, so give them a little shout. Wish I was pushing them around out here, but got to work with what you got.
Yep, that you do, and you made the most of it here tonight, Jeff. Able to walk away with a podium. So, you, my man, have a great rest of the night, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here in the future.
Yeah, hopefully it's next week. Have a good night, Brett.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was our third place finisher, the 97 machine of Jeff Pogo. Now we'll head up to our runner up finisher here tonight. It is the 23 machine of Joe Hudson. Joe, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yes, sir. How are you, bud?
Pretty good. How are you, my man? 100 laps here at Daytona, done and over with, and finishing in P number 2.
Yeah, it was a good one. Just a little bit short there. It was a good race. Should have been a heck of a broadcast there, especially the finish made the other 99 laps worth it, didn't it?
Oh, that it did. It was an exciting finish there. And yeah, Joe, I mean, what more did you think you need or happen a little bit differently to end up one spot better in a photo finish with Cody Meadows?
Well, I didn't really want to drop down. We had such a good run on the outside. I didn't want to leave the top side, but I figured he would drop down on the bottom, so I stayed out there as long as I could. And then I dropped down, and I was hoping the 11 would come back and push me. And we were coming back, and then the 11 tried to dip below me there, and then we were just beating and banging all the way to the finish line. We were just spinning. I had no idea who won until I looked up on my monitor here and said, "Oh, doggone it, second." But that's pretty good for the first night out. And we'll be back to some real racing next week at Rockingham. These speedways are a crapshoot, so uh, second's pretty good with these guys. They got a lot of good drivers, a lot of clean racing, a lot of give and take out there. Of course, the last lap was pretty much every man for himself there on that green-white checker.
Oh yeah, and that's usually always the case here with the next gen cars on Super Speedway. So yeah, Joe, I believe first full season here with the 802. I mean, what's your expectations and what are your goals going into this season here?
Just to earn everybody's respect and make all the laps. I race in several leagues. Sim 500 is one of the leagues I run in a lot, and just to kind of earn some respect from the guys that somebody they can race around and it be clean, and we can just have some fun. I'm 60 years old. I don't think winning put Cody in a different tax bracket, and I know it certainly doesn't put me in a different tax bracket. I just come down here and try to have some fun, and it's kind of defeats the purpose when you go to bed mad. So you just come down here, and sometimes you're on the good side of it, and sometimes you're on the bad side of it, and you just take it for what it is and move on to the next night. We don't have to pay to fix it, or none of us are on an ambulance going to the hospital. So tires are cheap. I've raced real cars my whole life, and it's the closest thing to running a real car that I've ever done out of some really smart people at iRacing. But thank you so much for the broadcast, and 802 for putting it on, and congratulations to Cody. You probably have a heck of a interview there. He's speechless. So happy for him to get the win. If it couldn't be me.
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to talking with him. First ever career win here with the league. And yeah, Joe, I mean, I would love to know a little bit more about you. I mean, what got you into racing as well as what got you into sim racing as well?
I grew up here in Alabama, in the kind of with the Alabama gang. Bobby Allison, Neil Bonnet were my heroes, and started racing at BIR down here in Birmingham and got to know those guys. And I ended up working for a guy, just volunteering on a pit crew for a guy named Stanley Smith, because I always wanted to be a spotter. And then I got a job as spotting for the Craftsman Truck Series, and ended up driving Bobby Hamilton Sr.'s motorhome and spotting for him right up till the last race he ran when he got cancer and unfortunately died a year later. Had some great friends though here in Alabama that have helped me. They my dream was always to run a real NASCAR race, and in 2017 we pieced together every penny we could come up with, and another friend of ours from Alabama, Mike Harmon, let me take his truck up to Canadian Motorsport Tires, and I ran a real NASCAR race. It was a nightmare, but at least I could say I did it. So, and then a friend of mine, Joey Jatina, he got the sim racing thing. You got to give a try, and now I swear I got more in this sim rig than I had in my last Pro Late model that I had. So, but it's a lot of fun. I've never drank, I've never smoked, did any drugs, but racing fuel's probably like cocaine to a cocaine head.
Oh yeah. I tell people there's no other experience than racing where you can go out there and clear your mind and you almost get into the zen. And I tell you what, it's one of the best feelings ever to be behind the wheel of a race car, and it's you and the machine on the edge of your limits every single lap. It's awesome.
Yeah, one time we were at a quarter mile and we had a caution. I had no idea what the caution was for. And after the race was over, I looked over there and my right side door was gone. And I'm like, what happened to my right side door? And they're like, that's what the caution was for. But that just how zoned in you are that you don't even notice you're missing a damn door.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, that's awesome. Well, Joe, it's been a pleasure talking to you, my man. Hopefully we get some more chances to talk with you, because I tell you what, I bet you got a lot of racing stories, my man.
They never stop. I've been very, very, very blessed with the opportunities that I had and the acquaintances and the experiences. So be happy to share them with you anytime. I can make a heck of a book.
Oh, I bet so, Joe. Yeah, we'll definitely have to catch up in some future time here. But here tonight, my man, able to walk away P number 2. So before we let you go and celebrate the runner-up finish, we're going to go hand over the mic to you one final time and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you want to give a shout out to on the broadcast.
Well, I thank 802 for putting it together, and didn't have a single teammate, nobody to talk to, so it was kind of boring, but just trying to hang out there. Congratulations to Cody. Thank you again for putting on the broadcast. I had the old Trailer Park Boy scheme going there, so maybe they'll have a special at the Sunnyvale Trailer Park. If hadn't checked out that mockumentary, I think it's on Netflix or one of those things. It's a heck of a TV show. It's really funny. So, but thanks again, and we'll try it again at Rockingham.
All right, awesome stuff, Joe. Well, you, my man, have yourself a great rest of the night, and hear from myself in the broadcast booth. Someone needs to get you on their team.
All right, thank you.
All righty, awesome stuff, man. That was awesome to talk to Joe. Hopefully, he has a great rest of the season, continues to have fun here. But man, I tell you what, just like he said, he could probably have stories to write an entire book, and I can't wait to learn more about him and chat more with him. But here tonight, we gotta go talk to the man of the hour. It is the driver of the 19 machine, Cody Meadows, down here in Victory Lane. Cody, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, man. First and foremost, 100 laps here at Daytona are complete, and you, my man, pick up your first career win. How you feeling?
Man, the amount. I'm sorry for any teammate that was in the radio when I crossed that finish line, because I think I deafened everybody within a country mile.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you're pumped up with it, man. I mean, how does it feel? I know part-time schedules here coming into the season, but man, to kick off the season like this and for your first ever career win, man, that's got to feel awesome.
Dude, it was like going into this race. I had a rough one yesterday doing a Coke 600. I had really bad luck, and then I won't give too much details, but my driver didn't make the playoffs today on a home track, but it's whatever. And then coming into this race, it's Daytona, it's the wild card. You don't know what to expect. So really going into this, wasn't really thinking this far ahead. Got caught up a lot and stuff. Ended up in the pits for a chunk of it. Had guaranteed probably 5 minutes total repairs on the car. So it was really just trucking one step at a time, and to end up in Victory Lane, lost for words, really.
Oh, I could believe so. And yeah, Cody, like you said, you didn't have an easy night here. I believe it was the third or fourth caution. You were involved with some pretty heavy damage there, able to rebound and then add a shot there at the end. What were you thinking with that kind of last unofficial green-white checkered, pushing those guys on that outside lane as well as the rebound overall?
Well, I got little bird told me that I am horrible with names. I am so sorry, but whoever finished third was gonna stick with me for the rest of the race if I stayed high. And I was like, okay, well, let's give it, you know what, and pray for the best, and it worked out in my favor.
Yeah, that it did. I assume once you saw that 23 car shoot to the low side, you said, oh man, we're sitting in a great spot here, leading the outside lane off of turn number 4.
It was something, that's for sure. I mean, the outside, it can be the best, but I mean, the bottom has been dominant for a chunk of the race. But once you get the right guys locked up on the top, it's impossible to stop that run.
Yeah, that definitely is the case. A lot of energy here generated with these next-gen cars. And Cody, I mean, great win here tonight, but overall, a great way to start the season. And speaking about the season, what's the game plan here for season number 6 for the 19 machine?
Well, keep trucking along, I guess. I don't really know how if there's a playoff system or what, if that just sealed the deal or not. It's I used to run the 3, and I got a message from my good buddy and teammate Christian like a week ago, and he's like, "Hey, you running 802?" I was like, "I'm running the big blocks. Why?" And he's like, "Dude, you're in the cup side." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, go check it out quickly." And so I barely missed the first race with the duels last week, and to not have a clue of what to expect going in and get the win, it's at this point, if it is the win you're in, it's just keep head down and give it everything I can for the rest of the season and make a run at the end.
Yeah, that sounds like a great game plan for you here this season, Cody. And Yeah, I tell you what, a great way to start the season. A lot of momentum here on that side. And with tonight, like you said, you missed the duels, had to start to the back. And when it's all said and done, not only did you pick up the win, you're the biggest mover as well from where you started 100 laps ago.
Oh man.
So just add some more accolades to this win for you, right?
Thank you. But,
awesome stuff, though, Cody. I'm glad you're so pumped up. I'm glad for you, my man, that you picked up your first win here. To get it broadcasted, too, makes it all that more special. Can go back to it. But I like to ask people, especially when I chat with them, what their sim setup is, especially new season. People may have gotten upgrades or stuff like that. What do you got these days, Cody, for maybe wheel pedals, and what are you looking at?
well, I am running the same thing I ran since 2018.
Nice.
And it's a Thrustmaster T150 Pro with the at the bottom it's got the clutch added to it.
Yep.
Well, not really, but I picked one up, like I said, 2018. I bought 2 more of these because this thing got discontinued, and I found 2 in a storage unit. Well, not really storage unit, a storage shop in New York, and I bought both of them. So I have went through. I'm on my third T150 Pro. One day I might try to look into something better, but till this thing falls apart, it's working, and I'm going to keep using it.
Yeah, for sure, man. You don't need those thousands and thousands of dollars of sim setup
If it
to
ain't
go out
broke,
there.
don't fix it.
Yeah, for sure, man. And, go out there, have a good time, and pick up those checkered flags like you did here tonight. So once again, congrats on the win here, Cody. Before we let you go, we're going to go hand over the mic to you one last time here in Victory Lane and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else.
Get ready, because it's gonna be a list.
Oh, for sure, man.
But mom and dad, obviously, for helping me be able to be running this iRacing since 2018. I love that. I've sunk so much money into it. I can't really leave. You with Turn 3 and taking the time out of y'all's day to come out and broadcast leagues like this. Rob at 802. I enjoyed it. The season I ran before, and to come back, I'm speechless. My teammates that I really don't know yet, I'm sorry, but one above all, Christian, you are the man. I thank you for everything you've done in my iRacing career. I mean, you know me for a while. I couldn't ask for a better teammate. Rachel, Puff, Jordan, Stitch, DJ, Bean, everybody in the Duck Army and the Soap Squad. I love all of you guys. Y'all gave me one hell of a birthday this year. I couldn't ask for a greater group of friends. Vela, Nikki, Ari, Scooby, Mia. Again, I couldn't ask for a better group of friends. I'm sorry I didn't say y'all first this time. My mind's shot, so work with me. But really, it's everything that goes into iRacing and 802 and Turn 3. I'm thankful for everybody and everything. To be able to do what I do, it's a dream.
Yeah, awesome stuff there, Cody. And like you said, it takes an army to get things rocking and rolling with the support. And I tell you what, it's awesome to see you pick up the checkered flag here in your first career win, man. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you again. So, Cody, you, my man, have yourself a great rest of the night. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here.
All right, thanks, man.
All righty, folks. That was our race winner, the 19 machine of Cody Meadows, picking up the win here for the Riptide 250 here at Daytona. So let's head back live here, folks, and get things wrapping on up. So first and foremost, got to thank each and every one of you fans tuning on in here live, and as well as the replay viewers that stuck it on out. So appreciate each and every one of you. We, of course, got to give some big shout-outs to the partners here at 802, that being BG Graphix, Riptide Radio, GStone Motorsports, as well as Stone Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram. If you want to find out more information, be sure to check out 802 iRacing on Facebook. So here, let's run through tonight's race results for race number 1 here at Daytona, and then we'll get you guys on your way. So Cody Meadows in the 19 machine will pick up his first career win. Joe Hudson in the 23 machine will finish P number 2, and Jeff Pogo in the 97 will round out the top 3. Finishing in 4th is the 11 car of Kenny Reel. Then in 5th, the 62 of Frank Zingen. Finishing in 6th is Steve Ritter in the 61, and Eli Raposa in the 46 will finish 7th. Finishing in 8th is Kevin Roy in the 77, and Matt Johnson in the 38 will finish 9th. Rob Lowell in the 21 machine will round out the top 10. Then in 11th is Tanner White. 12th will be Kip Easley. 13th going to Jason Wiley. 14th is Andreas Varas. 15th is Cody Brewer. Now 16th goes to Jim Ott. Dan Holdcroft will finish 17th, and Brandon Guerin will finish P number 18. Finishing in 19th is Mike Pardusky. 20th is Dustin Coggin. 21st going to John Buell. 22nd, Johnny Barker. Urbia Kane will finish 23rd. Brandon Finley, 24th. Greg Dreiss, 25th. And Nick Larson will finish in 26th. So that would do it for race number 1. Be sure to tune in next Sunday night for Rockingham for race number 2 of the Winston 802 Cup Series. So that would do it here tonight. So everyone, if you guys don't mind, there's a link in the description. Of course, Turn 3 partnered with Premier Setup Shops. That will take you over to their website. Even if you don't want to buy anything, a click would go a long way and would be greatly appreciated from myself. So we'll catch you in 1 week's time on next Sunday. So everyone, take care, stay safe, and have a great rest of your week. I've been Brett the Jet in the booth here, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.